United States is taking heavy losses in the war in West Asia. It has lost 13 soldiers so far and 140 of them are injured. 4 American jets have crashed, 10 American radars lie in ruin. But a bigger problem seems to be appearing in the high seas. Iran claims that it has struck American nuclear-powered warship. The CENTCOM has quickly denied this claim. Our next story brings you more details.
The titans of the U.S. Navy are facing a trial by fire in the volatile waters of West Asia. From the Arabian Sea to the Red Sea, American supercarriers are being hunted by a new generation of Iranian lethality. The untouchable symbols of global power are suddenly looking vulnerable under a hail of Iranian weapons. Iranian forces say they targeted the U.S. aircraft carrier USS Abraham Lincoln. Iran's Islamic Revolutionary Guards Corps Navy says that the American aircraft carrier was hit with missiles and drones, rendering it non-operational and forcing its retreat from regional waters. For years, Tehran has repeatedly warned that American carriers are not untouchable. Iranian military commanders have often claimed their missile and drone arsenal is capable of sinking an aircraft carrier operating close to Iranian waters. Anti-ship ballistic missiles, cruise missiles, and swarm drones have all been presented as part of that strategy. The U.S. is pushing back strongly against the Iranian claims. U.S. Central Command says there is no damage to USS Abraham Lincoln. It asserts the carrier strike group remains operational and continues to carry out its mission in the region. The conflicting narratives highlight the growing information war surrounding the conflict. At the same time, another incident has raised concerns about the strain on American naval forces. On Thursday, a fire broke out aboard the aircraft carrier USS Gerald R. Ford while it was operating in the Red Sea. 2 sailors were injured, though the fire was quickly contained. Together, these incidents underline the intensity of the war at sea. Aircraft carriers remain the backbone of U.S. power projection. But in a region filled with missiles, drones, and escalating tensions, even the most powerful warships are operating under constant threat. Bureau Report, WION, World is One.
The war in West Asia continues unabated. The last 2 weeks have seen relentless attacks on Iran by US and Israel, while American President Donald Trump is claiming that Iran is about to surrender. Thousands of Iranians, including its top leaders, hit the streets today in open defiance. Donald Trump's flip-flop on the war has continued. While he claimed that US and Israel had won this war, he also added that they will continue to hit Iran very hard over the next week. Remember, the U.S. Secretary of War, Pete Hegseth, claimed yet again that Iran has no air defenses, air force, and navy left. He insisted that its missile volume has reduced by more than 90%. Hegseth also said that Iran's new leader, Ayatollah Mojtaba Khamenei, is wounded and disfigured.
Between our Air Force and that of the Israelis, over 15,000 enemy targets have been struck. That's well over 1,000 a day. No other combination of countries in the world can do that. So today, as we speak, we fly over the top. of Iran and Tehran. Fighters and bombers all day picking targets as they choose.
But this is not all. Trump believes that Iran is about to surrender. In a call with leaders of G7 countries, the American president reportedly suggested that there were no officials left alive in Tehran with the power to make that decision. However, his claim does not align with a more complex ground reality. Earlier in the day, the northern Israeli city of Zarzir witnessed scenes of panic and destruction owing to an Iranian missile attack. Nearly 60 people in northern Israel were wounded from shrapnel and glass shards, and some houses were damaged as well. West Asia continued to face the brunt of Iran's retaliatory attacks as well. A cloud of black smoke was seen over Dubai's skyline as debris from an intercepted drone attack caused damage to a building. Europe also suffered a casualty as a French soldier was killed in a drone attack on troops carrying out a training exercise in Iraq's autonomous Kurdistan region. Turkey also leveled a big charge. It claimed that NATO air defenses shot down a third ballistic missile fired from Iran toward its territory. The country has warned Tehran against any more attacks. On the other hand, Israel claimed to have struck more than 200 targets in western and central Iran on Thursday, including ballistic missile launchers and defense systems. In an open show of defiance, thousands of Iranians took to the streets of various cities like Tehran, Mashhad and Isfahan for the annual Quds Day, even as Israel and United States continued to bombard sites. Demonstrators chanted death to Israel and America while carrying Iranian flags and posters of the Khomeinis. Even top Iranian leaders, including President Masoud Pezeshkian, Supreme National Security Council Secretary Ali Larijani and the Foreign Minister Abbas Araghchi, joined the march in Tehran today.
با مردم در کنار مردم تا آخرین نفس و تا آخرین لحظه در مقابل اونها بایستیم. در زیر این باران و در زیر
Large explosions rocked Tehran as well today, with the intensity so high that many residents reported that their houses were shaking. A dramatic moment was captured on camera as a blast took place in the backdrop as Iran's judiciary chief, Gholam Hossein Mohseni Ejei, was speaking with the media at the Quds Day rally in Tehran. At least one person was killed in the strike.
این تابلو رو نمی‌ترسن. مردم ملاحظه می‌کنن. در زیر این باران و در زیر این مشق‌ها به هیچ وجه نخواهم
بعد في وحده ثانيه ممكن يضربها بعد في وحده ثانيه شباب لانه ما صابت ما حدا يقرب ما حدا يقرب بعد
Israel's strikes on Beirut, meanwhile, have continued as part of its operations against Hezbollah. In a shocking incident, at least 8 people lost their lives and 9 others were wounded in an Israeli strike in Lebanon's southern coastal city of Sidon. With the war raging across multiple countries, the casualties continue to mount. Iran's death toll has now surged over 1,340, While 11 U.S. military personnel have been killed, that number now rising to 13. Israel's intensified attacks have resulted in at least 696 deaths in Lebanon so far. Now, the tensions are not limited to the battlefield alone. In the Islamic holy month of Ramzan, Israel has continued to keep the Al-Aqsa Mosque shut for close to 2 weeks now. 8 countries, including Qatar, Turkey, Pakistan, Saudi Arabia and the UAE, have condemned Israel's move and called upon the country to refrain from obstructing Muslim worshippers from accessing the mosque. While the cost of this war continues to engulf the world, both sides are now unwilling to back down on their military prowess. In such a scenario, cessation of hostilities still remains a relatively distant possibility. As the war in West Asia widens, losses for America are only growing further. An Iran-backed armed group in Iraq is now claiming responsibility for bringing down a United States military aircraft in which all crew members have been killed. The group, calling itself the Islamic Resistance in Iraq, says it shot down the plane in what it describes as a defense of Iraqi sovereignty and airspace. Iran's military has claimed that an allied group had targeted the plane with a missile. As per the U.S. military Central Command, all 6 personnel aboard the American KC-135 aerial refueling aircraft died after the aircraft crashed in western Iraq. The KC-135 was part of the ongoing U.S. military operations connected to the expanding war involving Iran. This aircraft, remember, is designed to refuel fighter jets and bombers mid-air, extending their combat range and allowing them to remain in the skies, especially for longer missions. The U.S. Central Command has said that the aircraft went down during an incident involving 2 American planes. The other plane reportedly involved in the collision was also a KC-135 that landed safely. The U.S. Central Command stated that neither hostile fire nor friendly fire brought down the plane, and the circumstances surrounding this crash are being investigated. Multiple reports, meanwhile, claim the crash may have occurred after the 2 aircraft collided mid-air. So what exactly happened in the skies over Iraq? If a collision did occur, how did the 2 American military aircraft operating in the same mission end up striking each other? Was there a communication failure, a navigation error, or was this a dangerous consequence of crowded combat airspace during a rapidly escalating war? These questions become even more pressing when you consider the recent pattern of incidents involving American aircraft. Earlier this month, remember, 3 American F-15 fighter jets were shot down in what officials described as an apparent friendly fire incident over Kuwait. All 6 crew members in this case managed to eject safely. Now, another aircraft has gone down, but this time there were fatalities. The deaths brought the total number of U.S. service members killed in the ongoing war to at least 13 now. Meanwhile, the wider conflict continues to spread beyond the skies. Attacks on commercial shipping in the Persian Gulf have been rising sharply. According to a New York Times report, at least 16 oil tankers, cargo vessels and other commercial ships have been targeted since the war began nearly 2 weeks ago, claiming the lives of at least 8 people. Iran has claimed responsibility for several of those strikes, including on 2 oil tankers near the coast of Iraq on Thursday, following which Iraq and Oman closed their respective oil terminals. Iran, remember, has threatened ships passing through the Strait of Hormuz as well, which is the narrow maritime corridor that carries nearly 1/5 of the world's oil supply. Prior to this war, on an average, 80 oil and gas tankers passed through the strait daily, and now 1 or 2 ships are reportedly able to cross on a daily basis.